greenhouses. I did a lot of international travel after
I saw you got some kind of civilian award from Paris.
Yeah, France.
Yes,
I've been to France. Oh, and one thing that you would be interested in, our three daughters, we had three daughters, no son. Our three daughters came up with the idea in 1999. Dad, we want to go. I was having some problems with prostate. They thought it was imperative that we do it then. That they wanted to go back to France and me to go with them. And maybe my close friend Buddy, I tried to get him to come go with us. He was running a lot of businesses and he couldn't leave and go. Mm-hmm. But we did go. Our three daughters and oldest granddaughter. And set up a real good schedule. Oh, one thing I intended to tell you, something I hadn't thought would be a problem. Turned out to be a very difficult problem. First time we did reconnaissance out in enemy territory, they gave us a map and they told us, okay, tonight we want you to go out a certain distance and go check to see what's going on for like the next 2 miles or something down the line in all the snow and stuff. And then so you took the map and memorized that, and directions are not my best thing, so I was really concerned about that and knowing how to get that, how to get back. But the first time we went out through our lines and came back through our lines. Okay, next, something that I hadn't thought about really that seriously was, what if they send you out here and you're going down several miles, coming back into what they say is our line, mm-hmm. Down further down, and then report back. And so we did that, and I started when we had covered the territory we were supposed to check, then started back in, and of course we sounded like I wasn't thinking about the fact that that the people there, they assured me that the people there where we were coming in at that point would be notified in advance what time we'd be coming in and where we'd be coming in. Hmm. We got shot at by our own people. They heard this noise coming and they just started shooting at you. I mean, you were too far away to give the password. You have a password that you have to utter that stops the firing, but
right.
Too far away. You're too far away to be yelling a password. So we learned from that after we got shot at that first time that is what's really dangerous, is coming back into your own lines. Yep. After you've been made a big circuit to check out an area, then if you're not coming back where you went out, that's a serious problem. It could be a serious problem. Mm-hmm. It is if, even because, and particularly with snow like we had. I mean, there's no way you're going to sneak up on anybody without just crawling or something when you're getting very close in snow, particularly if it's crusted. Yeah. Every time you step on it, you make a noise, sounds like horses or cattle or something, walking in. You're just setting yourself up to be shot. Is what would happen. You think of any other questions that you wrote down?
Well, being reenactors, we have a lot of interest in the material culture. So basically, a lot of your equipment, a lot of the enemy's equipment. And one of the questions we came up with was, what was your favorite piece of equipment, and what was your least favorite piece of equipment?
Well, I never thought about it like that, I guess. Your weapon, of course, is you have to have your weapon, whatever it is, and have that in dependable condition, your M1 or carbine or whatever you've got.
Definitely took the most maintenance, I'm sure.
Yeah. And incidentally, my brother sent me something on email, which was I've never seen a weapon as flexible as this one he was showing. The Russians have developed a new 12-gauge shotgun. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that film?
I think I have.
That's incredible. I mean, it has a drum with ammunition that you just clip in.
Yep, like a Thompson.
Yeah, but I think you want to be sure, particularly if you're having to do reconnaissance, that you've got something that fires a lot of ammunition fast and can make a significant impact quickly if you have to.
kind of along those lines, while you're, if I remember correctly, my history about the Bulge, there were a lot of Germans doing like counterintelligence and whatnot. And
Yeah, they were
dressed
dressed
up.
as Americans.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
wondering if you'd run
They were
across
dropping
any of
some.
those.
Yeah, we were alerted to watch for that because they were dropping them, particularly during this Battle of the Bulge.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to infiltrate areas that they hadn't broken through,
Mm-hmm.
and to watch for that because that could very well be going on.
But you
I
never
didn't
come
experience
across
it,
it
no.
firsthand, right?
No.
How did you deal with the cold? Did you find anything unique for yourself?
Well, one thing you had to do, and I guess my feet my toes still, you don't like to be out from under the cover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my wife sleeps with hers out,
Right.
basically. But my toes never really got warm.
It's still not warm.
Yeah, still not warm. What I was able to do, and they told us the best thing you can do, well, we were supposed to have had rubber boots,
Mm-hmm.
and they never got
Never
to
got
us.
them to you.
They were loaded somewhere, but never got to us where women need them, you know, there in the snow. But what you had to do every day, we had an extra pair of heavy socks, like wool socks. Keep them under your armpit, one under each arm like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then at least once a day, you got to put your foot up on the foxhole. I had a foxhole we dug in. Most of it was stalemated. Set the boot up on the foxhole and take your foot and shoe out of the thing. Set it in the snow. We're still in the snow on the side. And get the one that's dry and put that on. But when the foot was out with nothing on it, you know, just cold and wet, I guess,
Yeah.
one of those leather boots.
Right.
And get a sock and put another one, but I couldn't tell any difference in the way that one felt and the one that was still in a boot with a sock on it. You know what I mean? They just were numb almost from that.
Right.
But I did that every day. I'd take them off, and you can imagine when you're cold already,
Yeah.
put a frozen sock
Frozen sock underneath your
under
arm.
your armpits. That's the only way you do it. And then put those on and put them back in those same boots. You know what I mean? That's all we could do. But that did work for me. I mean, you know.
Those socks ever
I
dried
didn't
out?
lose my toe.
They're always moist.
They always were moist.
Yeah, I would imagine it would
Yeah.
be.
But I guess it was a change at least. You didn't keep them in that same soggy frozen
Right. It's
frozen toe
frozen
boot.
state. Yeah.
It did help temporarily. But that's how I avoided it. But we had a lot of people that were sent back that
It's frostbite left
but
and
that
right.
frostbitten toes
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
And a lot of them lost the toes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they were too far along before they got
Yeah.
back. We had one or two people that just the pressure of the war situation was too much. And
Messing with them.
shot themselves accidentally in the foot.
No.
We
Yeah.
had two that did that. Not in my outfit, but in our company. So, you know, I mean, it could be done accidentally, but, you know,
Gotcha.
you don't know, you're not sure. But it was an experience I wouldn't take anything for having had, but I wouldn't want to do it again. So let's put it that way. I think you learn a lot about yourself when you get into a situation like that. I mean, about what you need, what us to go ahead and be pursuing going forward when all these people that I was talking about that lost their feet, been shot, bloody and all, we couldn't help them. They were coming, our people coming back to try to get first aid, and then us having to keep. That's about as hard a thing as I've ever had to do,
Mm-hmm.
and keep my people moving forward. Of course, they're not going to go forward if I don't go forward, you know,
Right.
with scouts. But that's tough. I mean, that was a tough thing not to be able to help the ones coming back. So you can't take time to do that.
So you're in charge of the scouting group at that
Yeah,
point?
yeah. There was.
Were you still grunt level private, or
No, I was a sergeant.
you became a sergeant?
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I was sergeant before I went overseas.
Oh, okay.
When they decided we're not going to send these people just as replacements.
Replacements?
Yeah.
Then formed you up
Then
as
they
a-
figured out which ones seemed to have some leadership.
Gotcha.
Oh, you're still in
Yeah.
France, okay.
They were very wonderful, and of course, French people. I've been back to France a number of times. You know, as I had a friend that later on, when I was working plastics, like the French thing got thing. I have some friends that were in that business and that lived in Paris. And so we've been back to visit them, family and all. I get messages from them regularly. And he must be, he's older than I am, so he must be 93 or maybe 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful friend. But it made it nice that my family then could go and see. They'd never been overseas.
Right.
Their children. So when they got to see, they'd meet the French family and have dinner in their home, and you know, all this. And then he's been to this country many times. And in Blacksburg, he would come to this place.